Never been to Disney World? Stressed about all the planning, dining reservations, park pass reservations? You did remember to make a park pass reservation, right? Well, do not worry, because after watching this video, you're going to know all the insider secrets to having a perfect Disney trip. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. So you want to take your first ever trip to Disney World, eh? You clicked on this video. That means you're not only interested in having the best time ever, but you also don't want to miss out on any important, crucial, or life-changing information that might prevent you from getting the most out of your Disney World visit, because you know what? You're going to spend a lot of money on it. So come along with me. I got your back. All right, before you grab your mini ears and slap on that "we're going to Disney World" smile, keep in mind that all this super vital information can be sent to you via digital PDF if you want it close by at all times while planning your vacation. Just send us your email at disneyfoodblog.com/WDWtrip to get this entire list sent straight to your inbox. It's totally free, and this will also sign you up for our DFB newsletter, which, lucky for you, means even more planning tips will be sent your way. Huzzah! Okay, we're starting this video with the most important critical information, because that's how you should start any video, right? Okay, first up, oh boy, I get to see Cinderella Castle in person. Does anything else really matter after that? Well, yeah, seeing Cinderella Castle, by the way, it is Cinderella, not Cinderella's castle, can't tell you why, is awesome. But enough about that. Disney World is so much more than snapping a quick selfie with Cindy's house. You see, Disney World is not one park, like Six Flags or Fun Spot. Side note, has anyone ever actually been to a Fun Spot? Could you let me know if it's worth it? Because I'll try anything once, but I'm not gonna do that whole bungee thing. Okay, Disney World is actually an entire property in Orlando, Florida. It's the size of 2 Manhattan Islands, 42 square miles, I believe that's right. And lots of people refer to it as the Disney Bubble. This Disney Bubble is made of 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, a shopping district, aka Disney Springs, and lots of hotels, which we'll get into a bit more later, cause choosing a hotel is critical stuff. Each of the 4 theme parks has its own personality. First, you got Magic Kingdom, which is the OG park of the 4. This is where you're going to see Cinderella Castle, as well as experience those traditional rides you probably heard about, like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and It's a Small World. By the way, if you've been to Disneyland, you've probably written all of those. Then, you've got Epcot, which is most well known for its many cultural pavilions around the World Showcase. Think of it as a sampling platter of 11 different countries that you don't have to take multiple plane rides to get to. But speaking of rides, there are some pretty killer rides in Epcot, and some pretty fantastic food along with it. Next, we've got Disney's Hollywood Studios, the park that drops you into your favorite movies and lets you become the star of the show. Yep, this is where Star Wars Land, or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, is. And no, this is not where you'll find Harry Potter and the Minions. That's over at Universal Studios, which has no association with Disney World, aside from being a worthy competitor. If you want the scoop on all things Universal parks, then head on over to our good friends at All Ears Net for their wise words of wisdom. Molly knows those parks like the back of her hand. And lastly, you got Disney's Animal Kingdom, the park that's like an epic zoo, but way more than a zoo. Oh, there's also flying banshees and giant blue shamans here. Totally normal stuff. Now, if I got into all the details surrounding each of the parks at this very moment, I'd have to make entirely separate videos for each because there's so much info about them in regard to rides, shows, restaurants, and all the extra fun details and secrets. But you want to know something cool? I totally already did that for you. So if you want to get a better in-depth look at each of these major Disney parks, you can check out our 2022 Everything You Need to Know videos about each park after this. You'll become a Disney Park pro in no time. Okay, next on our list, I'm gonna drive myself directly down Main Street, USA and up to Cinderella Castle. Is that cool with you? Now, if it were only that easy, right? But only Main Street specific vehicles are allowed to cruise down Main Street, USA. We know that as a fact on account of all the times we've tripped over those trolley tracks. As it turns out, Disney World is a pretty spaced out place. And by spaced out, it's not how you think. There is a lot of space in Disney World, but by spaced out here, we mean Disney World is kind of spread out. So once you've arrived on property, getting around from point A to point B is more of an endeavor than just driving up to the front gates of a park and heading on in. There are a few ways to get around Disney World property. Method 1, by car. Easy enough, right? Just keep in mind that there are pros and cons to bringing along your own vehicle or renting one from the Orlando International Airport. Pros, you have the freedom to go wherever, whenever, and you're always guaranteed a seat. Cons, you'll have to pay for parking at the theme parks or at your hotel if you're staying on property. You'll also be responsible for getting yourself from place to place, which can be stressful, especially when you're tired after a long day in the parks. Method 2, free Disney transportation. Much like taking your own car, Disney World transportation has its good, bad, and ugly sides. Pros, Disney transportation via buses, Skyliner, boats, or monorail are complimentary for Disney World guests. They'll take you right up to the front gates of the parks, as well as other places within the Disney World bubble. Cons, though, these transportation systems can get crowded, especially at the very beginning and very end of your park day. If you're late for a dining reservation, which we'll talk more about in a second because dining resis are vital, you guys, don't rely on Disney transportation to get you there on the dot. Maybe better for you to settle on method 3, which is rideshare. Rideshare services like Uber and Lyft can come pick you up from any location with just a few taps on your smartphone's rideshare app. But here come those pros and cons again. Pros, you get the best of both worlds here. No crowds and no need to navigate those Disney World roads yourself. Cons, you will run across surge pricing for each rideshare you book. During peak season times, which are basically any time a holiday or extended school break is going on, those prices are going to be steeper than usual. We've seen rideshare prices range around $10 to $25 per trip within the Disney bubble. Soon to be method 4, buy minivans. Disney recently announced that the minivan service, which is connected to Lyft, will be returning this summer. Minivans are ride shares basically, and they offer guests that polka-dotted way to get around Disney World property. All you'll need to do is open the Lyft app and request a ride specifically for a minivan. It's super cute. The little cars on the Lyft app are actually little minivans. And if you stick around with us, we'll keep you updated on when this service officially returns. So weigh your options beforehand, discuss it all with your group to figure out what travel method's going to be the most beneficial in the long run, or is it going to be a combo of the 3? That's usually what I do. Okay, next on our list are some very important things. Listen, I forgot to pack Dio from my BO. Okay, whoopsie, did you accidentally skip over an item on your packing list that's actually kind of crucial? Let's take a step back here before we address the issue at hand. What are some of those essential items to bring to Disney World, aside from clothes and park bags, that you're absolutely going to need to pack for your vacation? Here's a quick list for you. And remember, you don't have to write these down. We'll just mail them to you if you drop us your email at disneyfoodblog.com/WDW trip. A mobile phone charger to keep phones all juiced up since you'll be using them a lot. Cooling towels, hats, fans, sunscreen, sunglasses, chapstick, aloe. This is Florida we're talking about. It's going to get hot, so you need to prepare for that intense sun. Refillable water bottles. If you don't want to buy Dasani water everywhere you go and spend literally $5 on a bottle of water, bring a refillable water bottle. You will thank us. Sanitizing wipes and Germ-X, because clean hands are happy hands. First aid supplies like Band-Aids, over-the-counter meds, moleskin padding for sore feet. That's a big one. A lot of folks don't even know what moleskin is till they go to Disney World, and then they're so glad we told them about it. And basic toiletries like deodorant and everything else you use for your nighttime and daytime routine. Can you get this stuff at Disney World? Yeah. Is it going to cost you an arm and a leg? Yeah. Now granted, even if you think you're super prepared for your Disney World vacation, something essential might have slipped through the cracks. Perhaps you left your contact solution at home, or maybe you ate something disagreeable and you can't find your Tums anywhere, or maybe your deodorant stick is still on the bathroom counter and you're kicking yourself for leaving it behind because you just sweat all day. Don't beat yourself up too much. I do this all the time. I can remember going to Disneyland once. I left all my makeup and a comb at home. I literally had no way to look like a presentable human being. It was rough. So if you are in Disney World, there are multiple ways for you to stock back up. Route A, there are select toiletries and essentials available at the Disney Resort gift shops that you can purchase easy peasy. But this is Disney, like I said, so the prices for these items are going to be steeper than you're used to paying for them back home. Route B, if you've got a car or you're willing to pay for a rideshare, you can drive outside the Disney bubble for a bit and pick up what you need at a local drugstore, pharmacy, or big box store. Though it's a little bit less convenient than just picking up those essentials at your Disney Resort gift shop, the prices for said items will be about what you're used to paying back home. But if you're planning on taking a rideshare over just to get a bottle of sunscreen, you're probably better off paying for it at the Disney gift shop rather than spending the extra money on a ride over, right? Okay. Route C, my favorite, grocery delivery apps like Instacart, Amazon Fresh, and Garden Grocer. These can deliver items you need directly to Bell Services at your Disney World hotel. Just keep in mind that if you need an item ASAP, these delivery services do take time. They will also add a small delivery fee and request a tip. So again, make sure you're looking to get multiple items instead of just one small thing to make it worth your while. Another quick tip, I always like to order some water, some breakfast items, maybe some soda pop when I get to my Disney World hotel. So if there's anything you don't want to throw in your bag to bring on your travels, just add them to your order when you get there. Then you can get all that stuff at once, and you only have to pay that one tip. Oh, and could I mention an important little trick that all the Disney World pros know? If you forget your refillable water bottle, you can still go up and ask for a free cup of water from most quick service locations around the parks. That way you don't have to pay $5 or $6 just for one bottle of water each time you get thirsty. Okay, next on our list, can I rock my Crocs in the parks or will I be hardcore judged for that? Well, what you wear in Disney World might be extremely different than what you wear back home. You might live in jeans all year long, but find them to be miserable to wear in the parks, especially after one of those infamous afternoon Orlando rainstorms. You might love sporting Crocs for more than just outdoor gardening purposes, but find them to be awful shoe companions on property if they're lacking any arch support. Then again, you might think jeans are the perfect thing to wear in the parks, and you might live in your Crocs on property. Here are a few quick important things to remember when you're packing clothes for Disney. Number 1, quick, dry clothes will be your best friend. Remember what I said about afternoon rainstorms? Not kidding about those. Orlando is notorious for them, so it's best to be prepared with water-resistant hats, extra socks, non-slip shoes, waterproof bags, and quick, dry shirts and shorts, especially for the kiddos, y'all. There are a lot of splash zones here, and your kid will find every single one. Okay, number 2, new shoes aren't as important as reliable shoes. You can have the best Tevas, the best Skechers, or the best Chacos, and it won't matter a lick if they're not broken in. Believe me, I've gotten the worst blisters of my life with a new pair of Tevas. Remember, you're walking thousands of steps every single day when you're at Disney World, so wearing shoes that are stiff and new will only lead to blisters and sore feet. Our reporters and I myself usually rack up anywhere from 10 to 20,000 steps a day. So no matter what your reliable shoes look like, definitely go with those. That being said, if your shoes are falling apart at the seams because you've worn them so much, those really aren't going to do you much good either. I'll never forget wearing a pair of fancy shoes that I always loved and always wore to media events and fancy places, and I got hit with a giant rainstorm in Disney World and they literally unraveled right on my feet. It was a sad day. So it's best to find a happy medium. Purchase a reliable pair of park shoes about a month or so before your trip and wear them out and wear them about when you're going shopping, going to work, or going for a walk around your local park. Do that for the rest of your family too. They will be much happier for it. We've got a whole list of our DFB favorite shoe selections for Disney Park days on our website that you can check out too. I'll put that link in the description below. Okay, number 3, layers can be your best friend. Florida weather isn't just wet and hot. If you go around any of the winter months or even into the early springtime season, you might just stumble upon a chilly Orlando day. It's best to check on the forecast before your trip to get an idea of what the average temperature is supposed to be like. If you see temps dipping into the 60s or below for certain days and evenings, you'll want to bring extra clothing that'll be easy to pack in your park bag. Leggings, beanies, jackets, fuzzy socks, hot hands. I live and die by my scarf in the winters. It's shocking how much warmer just a scarf can make you feel. And you still need to pack a face mask for now. Though Disney World recently lifted their face mask policy for all vaccinated guests, you'll still need to wear a mask on Disney's monorail and bus transportation. That being said, if you forget a mask, a transportation cast member will more than likely be able to provide you with a paper one, but it's best to still have one on hand just in case they've run out. Okay, this next round of secrets are the critical ones. So first on our list here is anytime a good time to drop everything and take a Disney World vacation? Well, I want to say yes, anytime could be a good time to go to Disney World, but we don't really want to lie to you around here. So being realistic, some days out of the year are going to work way better for people than they will for others. It's very insightful, right? Okay, stick with me. So here are 3 factors you want to consider before booking that first ever trip to the parks. Ride and attraction openings. There are lots of brand new rides and attractions. By the way, attraction for Disney means something that will sort of suck up and attract people without necessarily being a ride, right? All rides are attractions, not all attractions are rides. Okay, all right. But we got a lot of them that are going to be opening soon. We're just waiting for those official dates to drop because we totally want to be first in line. We know that's unrealistic, but nonetheless, the DFB team can dream. But, and there's always a but, right? Going to a park on a certain attraction's opening day always has its ups and downs. On one hand, you're there for a historical time and get to be one of the first people to ever experience a new Disney attraction. But on the other hand, crowds are going to probably be rather intense that day since a lot of other people will have the same idea as you. Lately, Disney's been using a boarding pass system, aka a virtual queue system, with a limited amount of reservations on the My Disney Experience app to make sure new rides don't get overwhelmed with an influx of people. Though no rides at Disney are using that system currently, it's best to study up on how Disney plans on managing crowd control for a ride's release ahead of time. That way, you don't pay a lot of money to get into the park for the sake of riding a new ride, only to be turned away because you didn't do things right. I'll link an old post of ours that talks about boarding passes in the description down below, just so you can get more specific ideas about how that system works. But in general, know that opening days for attractions are exciting, and they can also cause you a lot of stress and breakdowns. And I'm not just talking about breakdowns for you. New rides experience a lot of breakdowns in their first month just because it's never had to run so frequently and operate like this before. So sometimes it's better to skip out on the novelty of trying to be one of the first to ride something and settle for a better guarantee of riding a new ride without all the kinks. Okay, another thing that's going to affect when you go to Disney World is festivals. Throughout the year, Epcot has 4 different festivals that offer up unique food, entertainment, and themes. The year kicks off with the Festival of the Arts, which runs from mid-January to mid-February. Then you've got Flower and Garden, which is a lot longer, running from March to July. Later on in July starts the Food and Wine Festival, which ends at the beginning of November, and leads into the last festival of the year, the Festival of the Holidays. So which one should you go to? Great question. It all depends on which one you vibe with the most, and which one's going to align best with your travel schedule. So do your research and learn about what each festival has to offer. If it makes you feel any better about your decision, the team and I enjoy many aspects of each festival, and no, I'm not just saying that, we can prove it to you through our Best of the Fest videos. You can also check out our 2022 DFB Festival guidebooks. Currently, you can purchase the DFB Guide to the 2022 Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, or you can pre-order the DFB Guide to the 2022 Epcot Food and Wine Festival or the Festival of the Holidays. These guides will take you through all the festival offerings, so you don't waste a second wondering what you should be doing to take advantage of your Epcot day at a festival. And if you type the code YouTube before making your purchase, you'll also get a discount on this digital download. If you don't feel like these guides were giving you the tips and tricks you were hoping for, don't sweat it. Just contact us within 30 days of your guide purchase for a full refund. And another thing that's going to impact when you go to Disney World is the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall, Disney World covers it all. Yeah, those of you who are new here, that's my scriptwriter, Bria. Every once in a while, she comes out with a good one. Of course, the best season for you to plan a trip to Disney World is going to be the one that best aligns with your schedule, but there are a few things to keep in mind about each travel season. In the past, January and February have been non-peak times for Disney, meaning fluctuating prices are lower and the crowds are lower too. But in 2022, we saw a surge of unprecedented crowds that are continuing on into the year. Are these revenge travelers? Maybe, but it could just be that lots more people want to go to Disney World and that will continue. So set your expectations for a lot of people flooding the parks. Don't worry, this is only the setup of this point. I'll tell you more about how to navigate the parks successfully despite the influx of people, but just a heads up, a lot of my advice is going to be focused on planning ahead because it's really hard and actually near impossible to do a Disney trip on the fly anymore. So come March and April, you're going to experience more vacationers inside the parks. Why? Spring break. Schools around the country have different weeks for the spring break season, so don't expect one week to be Disney's busiest time and then it's all done. The spring break crowds will linger until mid-April and then cap off for a bit until Memorial Day weekend strikes at the end of May. After May, you've got those summertime travelers who are ready to go. Crowds get especially hectic around the 4th of July, and the parks stay pretty packed out until early August when schools start back up. Be mindful of those summer temperatures too, folks, though Orlando can get pretty roasty toasty even in its winter-spring months at times. The Orlando sun really brings the heat in the summer, so stay hydrated, take plenty of breaks, and listen to your body to keep from getting overheated. Now, historically speaking, the end of August and throughout September are usually slower seasons for Disney, but we'll see what happens this year. And the end of August also kicks off the Halloween season, which, of course, why wouldn't you celebrate Halloween in August? And that brings after-hours parties to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom also has after-hour parties for Christmas time starting at the beginning of November. For some guests, going to Disney around the holidays is magical and the only way to experience the parks, but for others, holidays in the parks can get way too packed and feel a little too festive for their liking. Again, it all depends on you. But this was only a brief overview of what each season is like. For a more detailed look, check out our DFB video that covers when you should go to Disney World in 2022. Okay, now some of you might be saying, I'm legit sleeping in Cinderella Castle when I'm there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I get it. I want to do that too, but I hate to break it to you. Cinderella Castle isn't really a place you can reserve on the Walt Disney World website, and even if you could, you might never financially recover from it. Come on, AJ, that reference was so 2020. But even if you can't sleep in a literal castle of pure magic and happiness, you can choose to sleep in one of Disney's hotels. So, next best thing. Disney World hotels range from value to moderate to deluxe. Those are the words they use to describe the kind of price levels. Value resorts are going to be, like they say in the name, your most affordable options. Moderate resorts, by the way, Disney calls hotels resorts, are going to start getting into the swankier side of things but aren't budget breaking. And deluxe resorts are for those hoity-toity celebrations or are for people who consider the resort itself to be a larger part of the whole Disney World vacation. I wish I could tell you booking a Disney World resort is as easy as 1, 2, 3, but before you track down your ideal place to stay and start booking, heed these 3 things. 1, remember what I said about the consistent Disney World crowds. Wasn't kidding. Depending on when your trip is, you might find booking a Disney World resort easier said than done, especially if your trip is less than 60 days out. Try booking a stay as soon as possible to lessen the risk of all the rooms of your dream resort being filled up before you get the chance to even blink in the room's general direction. No kidding, this has really been a big situation lately that you just can't book a hotel room there. They're all booked up. 2, don't let the name value fool you. Sometimes we see value resorts provide nice-ish deals, but oftentimes these resorts can still be pretty pricey and rank up bills around $200 per night. If you want a cheaper option, you can always look into Disney World's Good Neighbor Hotels. A selection of Good Neighbor Hotels, meaning hotels around Disney World that aren't run by Disney, will provide you with the same advantages that the Disney World-owned hotels bring, like close proximity to the park, though you can't walk to the park, complimentary transportation, sometimes, and early theme park entry, which will allow you to get into any of the parks 30 minutes before the park's official opening time, as long as you have a park pass reservation. 3, don't forget about Disney World's special offers. Throughout the year, Disney World posts special offers and discounts, deals on their website for a certain percentage off their hotel rooms. So before you pay full price for a room, check and see if you can't get it for a little cheaper first. Also keep in mind that room prices fluctuate depending on the season, so although holidays, extended weekends, and breaks might work best for you and your group, you might find prices to be steeper then. Considering these travel days will also work better for the majority of travelers, and Disney is a supply and demand situation. Now, how do you find those special offers and discounts? Well, there's a little special offers tab right on Disney World's website that you can just Control F and find and click on, or you could just join our DFB newsletter. The link to join is in the description below. It's absolutely free to join, and we will tell you every discount and deal that we find for Disney World hotels. So want to know more about each of the hotels themselves? Check out our Ranking Every Disney World Hotel video, where we not only talk about which resort is our absolute favorite, but also break down the pros and cons of each place to stay on property. Okay, the next group of insider secrets are life-changing. All right, Disney Food Blog, where should I eat? Oh, isn't that the loaded question? Disney World is great at providing a range of restaurants and experiences for lots of different types of eaters. Much like the different Disney hotels have lots of places to stay, there are lots of places to eat at every turn on property. That's what we do around here. So quick service, which is basically fast food, is prevalent in all the parks and the hotels and Disney Springs. Some, like Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe in Magic Kingdom or Backlot Express in Disney's Hollywood Studios, will cater to those who are more comfortable with a traditional theme park cuisine like burgers, fries, chicken nuggets, pizza, stuff like that. Others, like Satuli Canteen in Disney's Animal Kingdom and Docking Bay 7 in Hollywood Studios, will have more adventurous options to choose from. Just remember, lots of these fast food locations have something called mobile order. With mobile order, you can use your My Disney Experience app, order online, and select a time frame to come pick up your meal without having to wait in a physical line for it. Now, table service, or Disney's sit-down restaurants, allow you to get out of the heat for a spell and enjoy a nice sit-down meal. Some table service restaurants are more casual, like La Crêperie de Paris in Epcot, while others are more heavily themed, like Sci-Fi Dine-In at Hollywood Studios. Signature restaurants are Disney's fancy and more expensive restaurants, and these will provide you with top-tier dishes, desserts, and drinks. Some of our personal favorite signature restaurants include Le Cellier in Epcot if you're a steak fan, Jiko at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge if you want a romantic restaurant that's on the little more adventurous side of things with its menu, and the Hollywood Brown Derby in Hollywood Studios, classic Hollywood glamour and a little bit of everything on the menu. Oh, and did I mention that Disney's hotels also have epic places to eat? To be honest, many of the resort restaurants are the ones I vastly prefer to those most found in the parks. Places like Ohana at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Victoria and Albert's at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, and California Grill at Disney's Contemporary Resort provide that quality dining that inspired the Disney food blog name. That's right, I realized that I planned my restaurants before I planned my hotel or my rides when I first started going to Disney World, so it made sense to focus a little bit more on food around here. So Disney Springs is also a great place to grab a satisfying meal. Honestly, Disney Springs has had a renaissance lately. There are so many great restaurants there. And there's also a range from more casual eating like Chicken Guy, my absolute favorite fast food place in Disney World, to more high-end experiences like Morimoto Asia and the Boathouse. And then there are the character dining opportunities where you not only get to eat a hearty meal, but you also get to meet some of your favorite Disney characters. That's right, character dining does not mean you're eating characters. It just means you're meeting characters. So Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort has Minnie and the gang all decked out in their best artsy attire. Literally, I love Minnie's rider dress here so much and wish she'd just tell me once where she got it so we can be twins. Be Our Guest restaurant in Magic Kingdom is one of the rare times you can actually meet the Beast, and Garden Grill at Epcot lets us chit-chat with Chip and Dale and Mickey and Pluto as we dine on some serious comfort food and rotate. That's right, we rotate in the restaurant. It's very, very cool. I talk about it in a lot of videos, and I hope you try this restaurant. It's one of my favorites. And literally, I could keep going and going and going with this subject. Obviously, it's what I do for a living, and it's what I've done for 15 years, but there are so many options to choose from. So let me just point you in the direction of our ranking every Disney World restaurant videos so you can learn about the pros and cons of every single park restaurant on property. Now, let me fill you in on a major snack hack. Are you ready? Okay, some quick service locations, mostly candy stores and shops like that, will keep their mobile order availability open after the parks close. Main Street Confectionery will keep mobile order available about an hour after the park actually closes, and Casey's Corner and Plaza Ice Cream Parlor will do theirs until about half an hour after the park closes. Those post-firework crowds can be difficult to navigate, so if you want to hang tight until the initial crowds exit the park, then you can always stop for a late night bite. But guess what? There's more I've got to tell you. If you want the most extensive dining guide out there, then check out the DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining 2022. That's also available for purchase on the dfbstore.com. And it's a massive guide. It doesn't just cover all the Disney World restaurants on property, but it also discusses the new restaurant additions, the closures, the refurbishments, new menu changes, and added dining experiences that'll help you seriously win your first ever Disney World trip. We get emails, we get notes from our customers all the time telling us how grateful they are for this book, and we're grateful for them letting us know that, but we can also say with complete certainty, this is a really, really good guide. Everything I know goes into it, everything our team knows goes into it. We update it twice a year, so you get a very, very updated, truthful, everything you need to know copy. So definitely go check it out. And again, this one is 100% guaranteed for a refund. If you don't like it, no worries. We will give you your money back. No questions asked, no problems. So go ahead and grab it, dfbstore.com. Don't forget to use code YouTube for a discount. Okay, next on our list of life-changing tips and secrets. Why do I keep hearing the number 60 being thrown around? Is this some sort of magic number or secret code? Okay, so let's really dive into one of the most detrimental parts of a Disney World vacation, especially recently, reservations. Planning ahead is so important right now, especially if there are must-dos on your list that you don't want to miss out on. So what do you need to make reservations for ahead of time? Let's dissect that. Advanced dining reservations. So that 60 number you keep hearing is the soonest you can book an advanced dining reservation for a table, character, or signature restaurant before your trip, 60 days in advance. Mark it on your calendar with a big red circle. As a good rule of thumb, booking all your sit-down meals as soon as that 60-day mark comes around is a really good plan right now. But it's also important to know that some restaurants won't book up as quickly as others. So which restaurants book up ASAP? Here's what we found to be the most popular restaurants that book up within seconds of reservations opening on that 60-day mark, and I'm not even joking about that seconds. Be Our Guest restaurant in Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Royal Table in Magic Kingdom, Oga's Cantina at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Space 220 at Epcot. Super popular restaurants. Those reservations are going to be gone 60 days in advance. So if you're interested in booking any of those during your upcoming trip, keep in mind that reservations drop at around 5:45 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, not kidding. People will wake up before the roosters to book those restaurants. And if you're on the West Coast, might as well not even go to bed. On the flip side of things, it's also important to remember that even while you're at the parks, there might be some lingering opportunities for you to grab at a last-minute sit-down meal. Just go to the My Disney Experience app, tap on the Check Dining Availability button, and search what's available now. You just might discover some walk-up waitlist opportunities that you're still able to join. And of course, Disney does have walk-up reservations. It may be hard to get a reservation for some of those super popular restaurants, but if you just want to leave it to chance, well, you could still probably get into a few restaurants. They're just not going to be the best restaurants. Okay, park pass reservations. This is a very important reservation to know about it, and it's relatively new. When the parks reopened after their extended closures in 2020, the park pass reservation system was born and has been around ever since. After you purchase your theme park tickets, we highly recommend that you make a reservation for which park you're wanting to visit and on which specific day you plan on visiting. That's right, not only do you need tickets to go to a theme park, you also need a reservation to go to a theme park these days. Don't worry, Disney won't hide that fact from you. When you purchase your ticket, they'll remind you immediately to go ahead and book your park pass reservations so you don't forget. So before you purchase your park ticket, check the availability calendar on the Disney World ticket page to make sure the day and park you're wanting to visit aren't already booked up. There's nothing worse than paying a bunch of money for a ticket and not being able to use it because there's no park passes left. And this is especially true if you're planning on visiting during Disney's super high traffic times. The sooner you can book that reservation, the better. Now, reservations are free to book, and you can always change your reservations as well. So it's always good to lock those in just to make sure you have them. If you plan on using a park hopper ticket, which allows you to jump from park to park on the same day, you only have to make a park pass reservation for the first park you're going to visit. Then at 2 p.m., you'll be able to jump on over to your second park of the day. All right, hotel reservations. I know I already talked about these, but I just wanted to throw out the reminder again that booking a hotel room as far in advance as possible will benefit you immensely. Unlike advanced dining reservations, you can start booking rooms months in advance, so the sooner you get on it, the less you have to stress over it, and the more time you'll have to save up money to actually pay for it too. Okay, now we've gotten to the super important tips and secrets. I have titled this one, Cue John Williams Soundtrack. So the first one on this list is, I have to wait how long to ride Rise of the Resistance? Surely that's a mistake. Okay, no, it's not really a mistake. If you've already downloaded the My Disney Experience app, then A, congrats, you're on the right track. That's a big part of the whole Disney World planning thing. And B, you might have already gotten a chance to look at those digital park maps, which show you the live wait times for the different rides and attractions. And those numbers are pretty high right now. I'm looking at the Hollywood Studios numbers right now, and currently Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is an 80-minute wait, Tower of Terror is 120 minutes, Rise of the Resistance is 135 minutes. Oof. Sorry friends, not a technology error. Those are seriously how long the waits are for these popular rides. Might as well celebrate your birthday, anniversary, and retirement while you're in those queues, because those wait times will age you for sure. Or better yet, you can help alleviate those wait times with some of the methods we've successfully used in the past. This is why you're watching this video. Stick with us, y'all. We got the answers. Okay, method A, Disney Genie. Last year, Disney released a new planning tool on the My Disney Experience app called Disney Genie. Now you can use the free version of this service to check out forecasted wait times for rides throughout the day, or you can purchase the premium service, Disney Genie Plus, and individual attraction selections to access the lightning lanes of your favorite attractions. I know, you're like, what are the words you just said? Okay, lightning lanes allow you to bypass the big main line in exchange for a much shorter queue. So it's basically like the carpool lane version of the line. Using those shorter lines used to be free, you just had to book a reservation for them, but now you do have to pay for them. This is the brand new Disney Genie Plus edition. And the individual attraction selections are the super fancy, popular rides. You actually have to pay extra to skip the line for those. Granted, that's the bare bones explanation of this service and what it entails. To learn all the ins, outs, and in-betweens of Disney Genie, please check out our videos that go more in-depth about how to successfully navigate this new planning tool. We're not going to go into all the specific details here because there's just too much to talk about. We've got great tips, tricks, secrets, updates, how-tos, and all of that on Disney Genie elsewhere on the channel. So definitely go check those out next. Okay, method 2, to avoid those lines is early extended theme park entry. I mentioned the early theme park entry benefit earlier in the video, where some hotel guests can enter the parks 30 minutes before the park's official opening hours. But deluxe resort guests also have an extra benefit called the extended theme park hours. Remember, deluxe resorts are those more expensive hotels. On some evenings in select parks, select, by the way, is Disney's word for some, basically, deluxe resort guests can hang around for an hour or two after the parks close to the general public, and then they can hit up any last-minute rides that were too overcrowded during the day. Either benefit is super helpful when it comes to cutting down waits for rides. Now, method C, avoid early and mid-afternoons. This is your kind of last-ditch effort to avoid lines. Ride times are going to be at their peak come the afternoon hours. That's when everyone's awake and fed and raring to go. So even if you aren't staying at a hotel that has early or extended theme park entry benefits, it's still a good idea to go right when the parks open, which is referred to as rope drop, and or stick around until the parks are about to close. If you're more of a rider and less of a show watcher, then you may want to hit up some of the more popular rides during the fireworks spectaculars that happen in Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios, since a good chunk of the crowds will be waiting around to watch the shows take place rather than waiting in line to ride another ride. Okay, so we've covered a lot of those insider secrets for your first trip to Disney World. Now wait, AJ, where are you going? Don't leave me, I still need you. It's okay, we're not leaving. You can always check out our videos, our website, our guidebooks, whenever you need an extra helping hand during all this Disney World planning. We are here, we do this every single day. We have a whole team of amazing people who get up in the morning to make sure you have a good trip to Disney World. That's our job. Now, I know the process can get super overwhelming, and it's okay to keep asking questions. You should. The more research you can do before your trip, the better you're going to feel about it and the better trip you're going to have. But even when you're at the parks and feeling a little lost, you're going to have people there that can help point you in the right direction. Guest services are available right at the front of each park to help guide you through any day of questions and concerns you might still have. And the front desk cast members at your hotel will also be more than happy to fill you in on anything you're still confused about. In fact, all Disney cast members are there to help you along your journey. Just track one down and ask away. Even if they don't know the specific answer to the question you have, they'll be able to point you in the direction of someone who can answer it for you. Also, the My Disney Experience app and Disney World website will be your best friends during the trip, aside from us, of course. A lot of those questions you have are more than likely going to be answered on either of those online services. The website will also let you talk to a Disney World travel planning cast member in real time through its chat feature while you're busy browsing the website. Okay, feeling ready to take on the world? The Disney World, that is? Now that you've got the basics down, it's time for you to pat your travel planning hat on and blossom into the Disney Pro we always knew you would be. Now, big reminder, those DFB guidebooks for our 2022 Epcot festivals and the huge DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining can be purchased at dfbstore.com today. I know I talked about it a lot in this video, but I really think that those guides could be important, especially for your first trip to Disney World. Honestly, we have people who buy them every year to help them plan for their recurring trips to Disney World, but for your first trip, it can be invaluable. They've got the most recent updates on everything: dining hours, prices, resources, phone numbers, restaurant closures and openings, and there are gorgeous food pictures in all of them. This is a zero risk purchase too. We do guarantee your money back if these books aren't everything you were hoping for. And don't forget to drop us your email at disneyfoodblog.com/WDWtrip if you want a PDF version of today's video right in your inbox. That way you'll have something to look over as you continue to plan away. Thanks so much for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. We are here for you. We can't wait to help you. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.